Mansfield Park, written by Jane Austen. Jane Austen was born on 16 December 1775 in Steventon, Hampshire, England. She was the seventh child of eight. Apart from 3 years of school in Oxford, which she attended with her elder sister Cassandra, she was educated at home. Jane Austen was an English novelist noted for her witty studies of early 19th century English society. Austen portrayed the quiet day-to-day life to the members of the upper middle class. Her works combine romantic comedy with social satire and psychological insight. There are two common themes in Austen's book. First one, the loss of illusion, usually leading characters to a more mature outlook. Second one, the clash between traditional moral ideas and the everyday demand of life. Her major works include Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion. The major characters of Mansfield Park are Fanny Price, Lady Bertram, Mrs. Bertram, Mrs. Norris, Sir Thomas Bertram, Tom Bertram, Edmund Bertram, Maria Bertram, Julia Bertram, Mr. Henry Crawford, and Miss Mary Crawford. Fanny Price is a young girl from a relatively poor family, raised by her uncle and aunt, Sir Thomas and Lady Bertram at Mansfield Park. She grows up with her four cousins, Tom Bertram, Edmund Bertram, Maria Bertram and Julia, but is always treated as inferior to them. Only Edmund shows his real kindness. He is also the most virtuous of the siblings. Maria and Julia are vain and spoiled, while Tom is an irresponsible gambler. Over time, Fanny's gratitude for Edmund's kindness secretly grows into romantic love. When the children have grown up, the stern patriarch Sir Thomas leaves for a year so he can deal with problems on his plantation in Antigua. The fashionable and worldly Henry Crawford and his sister Mary Crawford arrive in the village and stay with the sister, the parson's wife. The arrival of the Crawford disrupts the staid world of Mansfield and spark a series of romantic entanglements. Mary and Edmund begin to form an attachment, though Edmund often worries that her manners are fashionable and her conversation often cynical, masking a lack of firm principle. However, she is engaging, beautiful, and charming, and goes out of her way to befriend Fanny. Fanny fears that Mary has enchanted Edmund and loves has blinded him to her flaws. Henry plays with the affection of both Maria and Julia, despite Maria being already engaged to the dull but very rich Mr. Rushworth. Maria believes that Henry is really in love with her and treats Mr. Rushworth coldly, invoking his jealousy. Fanny is little observed in the family circle. Her presence is often overlooked and she frequently witnesses Maria and Henry in compromising situations. Encouraged by Tom and his friend Mr. Yates, the young people decide to put on Elizabethan drama named Play Lovers Vow. Edmund and Fanny both initially oppose the plan, believing Sir Thomas would disapprove and feeling that the subject matter of the play is not appropriate. Edmund is eventually swayed, offering to play the part of Anhalt, the lover of the character played by Mary Crawford, as well as giving Mary and Edmund a vehicle to talk about love and marriage. The play provides a pretext for Henry and Maria to flirt in public. Sir Thomas has arrived unexpectedly in the middle of the rehearsal, which end the plan. Henry leaves and Medea is ushered. Realizing that Henry does not love her, she marries Mr. Rushworth and they leave for Brington, taking Julia with them. Meanwhile, Fanny's improved look and pleasant temper endeared her to Sir Thomas, who pays more attention to her care. Henry returns to Mansfield Park and decides to amuse himself by making Fanny fall in love with him. However, her genuine gentleness and kindness cause him to fall in love with her instead. When he proposed marriage, Fanny's disgust of his proper flirtation with her cousin as well as her love for Edmund caused her to reject him. The Bertram are dismayed since it is an extremely advantageous match for a poor girl like Fanny. So Thomas rebuked her for ingratitude. Fanny rejects his love. Henry leaves for London. The affair between Henry and Maria led to leave her husband and to elopes with Henry. The affair resulted in Maria's divorce. Henry refuses to marry her. Thomas has taken ill. Julia has eloped with Mr. Fanny returns to Mansfield Park to take care of her uncle and aunt. Edmund realizes the true color of Mary. He realizes how important Fanny is to him. Edmund marries Fanny. Tom recovers from his illness.
The novel. The major themes discussed in Mansfield Park are money and marriage, manners versus morality, the country versus the city. Money and marriage. Like other Jane Austen's novel, Mansfield Park observes and scathingly satirizes the fickle hearts and courtship rituals of members of England's gentle class as they fall in love and out of love. The book's characters talk about marriage obsessively, and as they do, they repeatedly articulate a view of marriage as ideally a love match. Marriage, moreover, seems to be the only socially accepted form that love is allowed to take. Extramarital affairs are roundly condemned in the book. Manners versus morality. Throughout Mansfield Park, Austen explores the complex relationship between manners and morality. Austen's view of manners is difficult to identify. In part because Austen's characters do not clearly define what they mean when they refer to manners. The meaning of manners in the book seems to be something that fluid, something referring to knowledge of etiquette, sometimes to general politeness, sometimes to modesty or gratitude. Looked at more generally, the concept of manners in Mansfield Park refers to a series of expectations of a character's social conduct. The country versus the city. Throughout the book, the characters in Mansfield Park move between their country homes at Mansfield and the surrounding property as cities like London and Portsmouth for business and for pleasure. Over the course of their travel and through the characters' discussion of these two different kinds of environments, Austen expresses a difference in how she and her characters view rural space versus how they see urban space, and how, although city space are viewed and more sociable and cultured, certain types of knowledge are only accessible in the country. The symbols used in Mansfield Park. The gate at Southampton. When the Crawfords, the Bertram and Fanny go to visit Mr. Rushworth at Southampton, they go for a walk in the wood in the property. Maria, Mr. Rushforth, Henry, and Fanny, who have been walking together, stumble upon a locked gate. They want to go through and walk up to a knoll.
Fanny returns to Mansfield Park to take care of her uncle and aunt. Edmund realizes the true color of Mary. He realizes how important Fanny is to him. Edmund marries Fanny. Tom recovers from his illness.
Mr. Rushforth, Henry, and Fanny, who have been walking together, stumble upon a locked gate. They want to go through and walk up to a knoll that they have spotted, but Mr. Rushworth has forgotten the key. So he walked back to the house and get it. While he is gone, Maria and Henry climb over the gate and head to the knoll without him. Fanny, thinking it improper, stays behind when Julia follows Maria and jump over the fence as well. The crossing gate, which seems to represent moral transgression, foreshadows Henry and Maria later scandalous behavior when they run away together after Maria marries Mr. Rushworth, once again leaving Mr. Rushworth behind. The fire in the East Room. Before Sir Thomas leaves for Antigua, and while he is gone, Fanny's favorite room in the house, the East Room, does not usually have a fire going in it. Fanny, who is afraid to ask for things and appears ungrateful, does not ask for one, and no one notices that the room is cold and thinks to offer one. The lack of fire seems to symbolize the way in which Fanny is neglected as a child at Mansfield Park. Gold chains. Before the ball at Mansfield Park, William gives Fanny a beautiful cross meant to be hung from a necklace. She has no chains to hang it from, however. When she expresses this concern, Mary gives Fanny a beautiful decorative gold chain that Henry gave to her at Henry's request. The same day, Edmund gave her a simple gold chain that suited her better. But when she learns of Henry's gift, he tells Fanny to wear Henry's instead. Ultimately, Fanny cannot wear the one that Henry gave her through Mary, because it does not fit the cross. The two different gold chains symbolizes the two different opinions that Fanny has in Henry and Edmund. Henry's chain ornates and appears expense represents how Henry, with his wealth and charm, might seem like a right choice for Fanny. Thank you.